Do you know what the greatest enemy of your success is? It's not failure. It's not rejection. It's not even lack of resources. The biggest obstacle between you and your dreams is your ego. We live in a world where everyone wants to prove they are right, where everyone wants to look better than others, where everyone wants to be seen more than they want to learn. But let me tell you something. Your ego may give you a false crown, but it will never give you real success. Ego is like a silent barrier that stands between you and the growth you truly desire. It whispers into your mind that you already know enough, that you are already better than others, that there is nothing left to improve. This illusion of completeness is the biggest reason so many people stay stuck in the same place year after year. Growth requires openness, a willingness to learn, a readiness to accept that you don't have all the answers. But the ego resists this. It makes you believe that asking questions is a sign of weakness, that seeking guidance is a sign of incapability, and that admitting mistakes makes you look small in front of others. Because of this, countless opportunities for learning and self-improvement are lost. When ego dominates, it convinces you to defend your weaknesses rather than address them. Instead of accepting constructive criticism, you argue against it or ignore it. Instead of seeing failure as a stepping stone, you see it as a personal attack on your pride. Ego blinds you to the lessons hidden in setbacks because you are too busy protecting your image. This not only prevents personal growth, but also affects relationships, teamwork, and progress in any field of life. People naturally resist helping someone who acts like they know everything. Teachers stop teaching when students show arrogance. Leaders lose respect when they let pride overshadow humility. Ego doesn't just block your path forward, it slowly isolates you, making success harder to achieve. The truth is, growth is a continuous journey. No matter how much you achieve, there is always more to learn, more to refine, and more to explore. But ego tricks you into thinking you've already arrived. Imagine a cup filled to the top with water. No matter how much fresh water you try to pour in, nothing new will enter because the cup is already full. Ego is that full cup. It keeps you overflowing with pride, leaving no room for new wisdom. To grow, you need to empty that cup, to create space for new knowledge, new experiences, and new perspectives. Ego also thrives on comparison. It tells you that as long as you are doing better than someone else, you are successful. This limited way of thinking stops you from pushing your own boundaries because you settle for being better than others instead of being the best version of yourself. True growth doesn't come from proving you are superior to others. It comes from proving to yourself that you can evolve beyond who you were yesterday. But ego doesn't allow that reflection. It wants to keep you safe in the illusion of superiority, far from the discomfort that real growth demands. Growth requires vulnerability. It requires admitting when you are wrong, seeking advice from others, and acknowledging that you don't know everything. Ego sees vulnerability as weakness, but in reality, it is the gateway to strength. The moment you silence your ego, you open the door to feedback, mentorship, collaboration, and new opportunities that expand your horizons beyond imagination. Humility is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, it is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess, especially on the journey towards success. When you are humble, you accept that you are a work in progress. You acknowledge that no matter how much you have achieved, there is always more to learn, more to experience, and more to improve. Humility is not about belittling yourself or hiding your achievements, but about recognizing that success is never a one-person effort and that growth is continuous. This mindset keeps you grounded when you win and resilient when you fail. When humility guides your actions, you become open to learning from anyone and anywhere. You stop seeing questions as threats to your intelligence and start viewing them as opportunities for deeper understanding. A humble person listens more than they speak, and because of that, they often learn faster and grow wiser. They value feedback instead of rejecting it, even if it comes in the form of criticism. While ego shuts doors, humility opens them wide. By admitting you don't have all the answers, you invite others to share their knowledge and experiences with you, which can accelerate your growth in ways you could never achieve alone. Humility also plays a vital role in leadership and relationships. A humble leader is respected because they don't treat others as less. but instead empower them. They understand that success is built on teamwork, and they give credit where it is due rather than taking it all for themselves. People are drawn to humility because it reflects authenticity. When you are humble, you don't need to prove your worth constantly. Your actions and your character do that for you. This creates trust, and trust is the foundation of influence, cooperation, and long-term success. Another reason humility unlocks success is that it prevents complacency. When you let pride take over, you begin to think you've already reached the top, and that illusion stops you from striving for more. Humility, on the other hand, keeps you hungry. It allows you to celebrate your victories while reminding you that the journey is far from over. Every win becomes a milestone, not a finish line. This mindset pushes you to stay disciplined, consistent, and motivated to grow further. Humility also gives you the strength to handle failures with grace. Instead of blaming others or making excuses, you accept responsibility and learn from the experience. This ability to reflect honestly and grow from setbacks is what separates those who achieve temporary success from those who build lasting legacies. Life will always present challenges, but humility ensures that you face them with courage rather than arrogance, with openness rather than denial. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of humility is gratitude. Humble people do not take success for granted. They acknowledge the people, the opportunities, and the circumstances that supported their journey. Gratitude keeps your heart soft and your vision clear. It allows you to keep moving forward without being blinded by pride or entitlement. In this way, humility doesn't just unlock success, it sustains it. Ego is one of the most destructive forces when it comes to building meaningful connections in life. It creates walls between people, making collaboration, understanding, and growth almost impossible. When you let ego control your actions, you constantly feel the need to prove yourself right, to dominate conversations, and to show that you are superior to others. This not only damages relationships, but also robs you of valuable opportunities that come from learning, sharing, and cooperating with others. Success in any area of life, whether personal or professional, cannot exist in isolation. It depends heavily on the connections you form, the trust you build, and the support you give and receive along the way. By killing your ego, you tear down the walls that separate you from others and instead start building bridges that lead to new paths of success. When you choose humility over ego, you invite collaboration. You create an environment where ideas flow freely, where people feel safe to share their thoughts, and where teamwork thrives. Ego makes you think that asking for help is a sign of weakness, but building bridges requires the courage to admit that you can benefit from the knowledge and strength of others. The most successful people in the world are not those who stood alone, but those who built networks, communities, and partnerships. Killing your ego allows you to value others not as competitors, but as allies who can contribute to your growth and whose growth you can also support. Another way killing your ego helps is by allowing you to handle conflicts with maturity. Ego wants to win arguments, to defend pride, and to never admit fault. But when you let go of ego, you realize that winning an argument means nothing if it destroys a relationship. Building bridges means choosing peace over pride, listening instead of interrupting, and seeking understanding instead of revenge. These choices strengthen bonds and open doors to opportunities that arrogance would have closed forever. Every bridge you build expands your world, bringing new possibilities that can shape your future. Ego often isolates people, making them believe they don't need anyone else. But the truth is, every achievement is connected to others in some way. No invention, no company, no movement was ever built by a single individual completely on their own. It was always the result of shared effort, shared knowledge, and shared vision. Killing your ego helps you see the value of people around you, from mentors to peers, from colleagues to friends. Each of them can offer perspectives and experiences that you don't possess, and each bridge you build with them becomes a pathway toward growth and opportunity. Building bridges also strengthens your reputation and influence. People naturally gravitate toward those who are approachable, respectful, and authentic. Ego-driven individuals might gain attention for a while, but they eventually push others away. Humble individuals who value connection create loyalty, admiration, and long-term respect. These bridges not only help you succeed in your career, but also enrich your life with meaningful relationships, genuine support, and lasting fulfillment. So if you want to succeed, kill your ego. When you fail, don't hide behind excuses. Own it, learn from it, and rise. When you win, don't let pride blind you. Stay humble, stay grateful, and keep growing. When someone teaches you, don't feel small. Feel privileged, because growth is a gift. Your ego will tell you that humility is weakness, but the truth is, humility is the highest form of strength. Ego builds walls, humility builds bridges, ego creates enemies, humility creates opportunities. So today, make a choice. Kill the ego that holds you back. Kill the pride that keeps you blind. Kill the voice that says, I already know enough. And then watch how life opens doors for you that you never imagined.